Okay, welcome to the Board of Park Commissioners for this March 6th at 4 o'clock. Please call the roll.
Mr. Cappers?
I'm here.
Mrs. Westfall? Here. Mr. Fox?
Here.
All members are present.
Okay, the first matter is the number of minutes that we have. We have a joint meeting where there was undertaken some action that would affect the park board, so I'll ask that we have a motion and a second for the approval of those minutes, if you're so inclined.
Motion to approve the minutes?
Second.
Okay, there's a motion and a second to approve the joint meeting minutes that are attached to the January 17th. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Okay, we have the park board minutes then from February 6th and February 10th. Those were attached to our information and already disseminated. Are there any additions, corrections, or deletions
It
of
should
those
be
minutes?
approved separately,
Why are you making me do that?
because I'm trying to extend your meeting.
Okay. Let's consider the February 6th meeting minutes, okay? Are there any additions, corrections, or deletions in those minutes? Hearing none,
Motion to approve
there's a
the...
motion to approve. Is there a second?
Second.
All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Okay, on our February 10th meeting, special board meeting for the purpose of considering employment of a golf professional. Are there any additions or corrections to those minutes? Hearing none, I'll entertain another motion.
Motion to approve those minutes?
Motion to approve, is there a second?
Second.
All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
They are all accepted. Okay, and we have with us, as far as introductions are concerned, our current golf professional and our former golf professional. Ken, would you like to make an introduction?
Absolutely.
Okay.
If I could, I'd like to introduce your new Director of Golf for this coming year, 2018, Mr. Kyler Brewer.
Kyler, welcome. Thank you. He made City Council real happy for his appearance last night and was introduced to everybody there. In fact, when the mayor came up and said hi to him, and first thing out of Kyler's mouth was, "What's your name, sir?" So we had to get it straight that he was the boss, right? Okay. Kyler, do you have anything to say?
I just want to say that I'm excited to be here. Again, reiterate that I'm honored to be part of this community and to serve publicly, and I'm looking forward to everything that has to entail.
Well, you're learning under a great man, so I feel fortunate that Ken was with us for this 14 years and sad to see him leave. Okay, as far as reports concerned, Jeremy, you have your report that's attached to the minutes, disseminated to all the board members. Do you have anything to add to your report?
Yes, just a couple things. One was Bruns construction did start on the Troy Aviation Pioneers Monument near the Senior Citizen Center. They just started that yesterday. I did see that they've got the footers poured today, so that's moving right along. Also,
On that matter, do you have any problem? You don't have any problem with the location? We've already been through that.
Yeah, everything, they are right in the right location. We did check on them yesterday, and we'll continue to monitor that whole process. Also, we did post and interviewed candidates for our labor position. We have offered that position to one of the candidates contingent upon them passing the drug screening process. So as soon as we get the results of that back, we'll release that information. But so that's a very good thing, as we're getting into our really, really busy season now. So.
Good. Any questions of Mr. Drake?
When do you expect that?
Hopefully, potentially by the first part of April would be my hope, is that we could get him here and start to get acclimated before we really turn him loose on full tilt into mowing season. So, yeah.
Right.
Okay.
Jeremy, what were you working with the police department on?
Yeah, so we had, they had a project there. They wanted to tear out a wall and put some countertop spaces in for kind of a multi-use room for the patrolmen to do their reports, and then also built cubbies for them for like storage locker type things. So we had Charlie Brown and Kevin Pyers both worked on that for a number of weeks there, and did an excellent job. And so they've got just a little bit more this week that they'll actually have that completely finished then. Probably about another half day or so. And so yeah, they did a fantastic job.
Tell me, just for my personal edification, When we loan our employees to another department, does the other department then pay for their salary? It comes out of their budget? Are we doing it ourselves?
No, that's continued to come out of our budget for the salary. Of course, the materials get billed to a specific account to whatever department that is, but there was a joke, I haven't talked to Chief yet, but we're gonna get a couple of his patrolmen to help on our tree crew. I gave him some of my people to do the project, but I don't think the patrolmen would really care for that, but I'll bring that up to the Chief.
Do you keep track of this on a little checklist when we go to budget next year?
Yeah, of course we do, yeah, absolutely. Yeah. But no, it really, that does work out well, and I usually, try to send an email to just communicate with other department heads going into fall and into winter. It's a perfect time if we're gonna do something like that to be able to help out in other departments. The winter time is definitely the time to do that, and as we, transition now into really ramping up, soccer's almost in full swing already again, baseball's, softball's all starting, and so we get extremely busy, and Charlie's one of the key employees to handle a lot of those things this time of year. So it's worked out well. That project's wrapping up, and now we'll be full tilt into some of our things that we'll really utilize him on. So then it'll be next fall into winter before we're able to do that again in other places in the city. So
I'm going to jump ahead here and talk about my planning commission report. At planning commission, there was a couple of new subdivisions out off of Wilson Road that were approved.
Okay.
And as part of that subdivision, the city took on a right-of-way, a lot of which will continue to be just green space at the current time. Now, I was told that the street department will be mowing that.
okay.
Is that true?
I hope so.
Is that?
I really hope so.
You
I haven't heard.
I was
yeah.
trying to call me out.
Yeah.
It's been like,
I'm thinking, yeah, I had
Yeah,
not heard
it's
about
gonna be-
that, so I assume.
It's gonna be straight.
Very
Yeah,
good.
great, thank you.
Okay. Mr. Seiler's not here. Mr. Drake, do you have anything else?
That's all.
Okay, any other questions, Mr. Drake? Mr. Green, do you have anything to add to your report?
I do.
You got some new news going on?
I've got a couple last things I'm going to do before I retire here.
Okay.
First of all, and I've talked to Mr. Brewer about this, as you know, this year, our renovation project for the clubhouse is going to start September 1st, or pretty close to that date. So we're going to have to close the clubhouse down, which means our club storage is going to be closed down.
Yeah.
So those guys are going to have to be out there by September 1st, which is basically 2/3 of the season. They're in there and they're going to lose a third. And I recommend that we reduce their rate for the storage from $60 to $40 for this year.
Sounds reasonable to me. Anybody have a problem with that? Let's adopt a motion to that effect to protect the Ken. So I'll make a motion that we go ahead and take a third off the price of
Okay.
the lodging storage area. Is there a second to that motion?
Second.
All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed?
Okay,
can
thank you.
implement that.
The next thing is I would like to thank Jeremy and his men because they really helped us out with the trees this year. We got down all the trees in the potential driving range, hopefully, for next year. So that's going to save us $5,000 for having those have to be removed by the landscaper.
Have they been stumped also?
We've taken the stumps out, and like I say, we couldn't have done it without them, because they were big trees, weren't they? And there were 7 of them, so. Plus, we did some on the golf course, too, that they helped us with.
Good.
Also, I'd like to thank him for allowing Charlie to come out and help us. We did a little bit of renovation on the maintenance barn, so that we would not have to put in the budget for next year to build a new one, or an additional one. And what we did is we kind of changed the doors in the back of the barn so that equipment can be put in a nice orderly manner without having to move all the equipment out to get to certain pieces. So it's really going to work out good. And the only thing we may need additional for next year is they need a small building just to put fertilizers and stuff to get it out of the way.
So we don't need a new maintenance shed? then?
No.
Jeremy, another thing on your checklist?
Yeah.
Thank you.
And the last thing is, as you know, we've talked about the advertising for the T signs.
Right.
He's very familiar with that too, and as you know, during the interview process, he was asked about it. He did talk to Tim today, because Tim was, wanting to know one way or the other, and we told him it would probably be next month's meeting before a decision was made. And I don't know if that's something you want to discuss today. You already know my opinion, because I'm the one that brought it up. And I understand how the board feels about it because of advertising. But we're looking at $15,000 to $17,000 worth of signage that is going to be needed probably sometime next year if we want to have everything up to date.
We've taken a look at some of the other courses around.
Right.
Castle Hills, I guess, doesn't have signage or had placed on their signs for signage.
Yeah.
And they weren't all sold, and the Golf Pro ended up having to sell them. And Beaver Creek, as you remember, doesn't have any. And
Correct.
they want to protect their brand by not advertising
Correct.
on those signs. So Kyler, I don't know that I want to take action on it today.
Right.
But Kyler, I would like to have your input and recommendation at next month's meeting concerning that.
Yes, sir.
And if you have to do a survey of other community golf courses, public golf courses, that might be warranted. And you say his name was Tim?
Yeah, Tim Boutwell.
Yeah, what happens if the advertising isn't sold? What kind of control do we have over the advertisers that are submitted? Things of that nature. Because we may not want somebody from some institutions.
Well, I think we can, when we make an agreement with whoever if we do decide to go that route, then we can put any limits in we potentially want.
Absolutely.
So, and I think, Mrs. Knight, we have to have a RFP submitted for
That
that.
was the recommendation if you decide to go forward by the Director of Law, where you would confirm what you were looking for.
And there's a real question as to whether or not we can keep anybody out from advertising if it's a public golf course. I would imagine, I don't know. We'll have to ask our law director about that as well.
Certainly.
Yeah. Okay, good. Anything else, Ken?
No, that's it. And
Okay. Kyler, do you have anything else?
I don't have anything to add this time.
Oh, this is your big opportunity. Okay, no planning commission report other than what we've already addressed. The next matter is to appoint David Brown to the position of park labor, and we've already talked about that. That's the one you're talking about. Do we really need a motion on that? I guess.
That's you.
Knight? Oh, well, we'll go ahead and do it. Anybody want to make a motion to appoint David Brown? And there's a motion to approve David Brown as a laborer. And
Second that.
All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? That's great, because I've already signed the paperwork. Okay, consider providing a recommendation to council regarding the bidding of Miami Shores Golf Course for the clubhouse renovation. Ken, do you want to take care of that?
I will. Thank you. Okay, what I'm going to do is show you what we have existing right now. And this is the existing layout of the whole clubhouse. And as you know, on this side over here was the golf shop. And we had the breeze area through here between the golf shop and the restrooms and the club storage. And then from there, we had the dining room on the other side of that, which is where it still is right now. And then that was the kitchen and the dining room here. And then we had the porch that went around the south side of the clubhouse and into the northeast side of it, okay? And that's what we have right now. And what we're doing to change, and one of the considerations we've taken into making these changes is we want to better the flow of the course. When people come in, they know where to go. Because one of the problems we've had over the past is people would go to the snack bar right away, and then they'd go through the snack bar to get to the golf shop. Because even though we had signs, it didn't look like that's where you should go. So everybody went over to that area. So what we're doing now is we're kind of flip-flopping things. The golf shop now is going to be to the right as you come in to the golf shop, as you drive in, and there will be a foyer and an entrance to that. And when you come when you pull up to drop your clubs off, there'll be a drop bag area, and also there'll be where the carts are being staged, which will all be out in front of the clubhouse down on the south side.
In your rendering there, where's the parking lot?
This is the parking lot back here.
Down there, okay.
And this is where you'll come in now. Wait a minute, I'm sorry. We have a main picture here. This will be this is actually the interior. Okay, thank you. Okay. This will be the new entrance, which this is coming in from the parking lot side. So they will pull, swing in here the turnaround, There'll be a drop club here area to drop the clubs off. And right in this area, right in here, is a staging area for the carts.
Oh,
So it'll be very obvious as soon as they pull up where to go, because you're gonna see the carts out there ready to go. They'll see the main entrance here. You'll walk in through here, there'll be a foyer, and if you go to the left, that'll take you down, and that'll go over to the dining area. If you go straight, that'll take you to the golf shop on the right, or to the restrooms on the left. The men's and women's restrooms will be down that hallway. And that'll go all the way out to the porch, too. So you can go right on through to the porch if you want. But usually, people go walk in here, go to the golf shop, get signed in, pay their dues, then they'll either come back out this way to get a card if they're going to ride, or they'll come back out this way to get their clubs if they're going to walk. And then we'll have an exit to go out to this side to go to number 1 tee, and also go to the putting green. So most of your activity is going to be on the south side of the clubhouse now, not interfering with the service area where the maintenance crew has to go and where people come in to make deliveries, which will make it a much better flow, and we won't have to have interference from, customers coming in and out of that side where we had where the shop was before. If you remember, we had 5-minute parking there, a lot of people pull up there.
Sure.
So that really, and plus, not to get too far ahead of myself, on this side over here, we will also have a service entrance door, so that that's not interfering with our public either, which will make it very nice. That'll go right into the back of the kitchen. So you're going to have golf shop, hallway, restrooms, and then from the restrooms, that's where the dining area will go over. And that'll be a much bigger spot because we're taking out the existing fireplace that's in there. So that's going to give us equivalent of 112 to 116 spaces. 32 of those spaces, we're going to have the ability to partition off. We're putting a partition in that is movable back and forth. And that way, if we want to have private groups like Troy Optimus, or Rotary Club, or whoever it might be, we can have a separate groups, they'll have privacy, have the meetings, we'll have TV in there, they will do video or something like that. And also, we will have an entrance from the kitchen so that we can serve them directly in there. And they will not be interfered with the general public. If we have any larger outings, we can open up the entire thing, which will give us the ability to have probably to at least 120. And that'll have a whole new dining area, furniture and stuff in there with chairs and tables.
Okay.
Okay? And then the kitchen area is basically going to be where the breezeway is now and where the restrooms are now. It'll be bigger, but still not so big that one person can't handle our daily work. Because that's one of the things we were really trying to protect, that we didn't have to have 2 people running the snack bar. The only reason we would ever have more than 1 person is if we have a big outing going on, we have to do cooking and serving and stuff like that. But for daily activities, like we generally run day in and day out, 1 person can still run. So it's not so big that they have to run around and can't get to from the snack, from the maybe the stove or the fryer to where we do the pop and stuff like that. It'll all be in one counter. One thing that's going to be nice on the, well, we don't have the entrance to the from the golf course side. We have that to do. So I can show you what that's going. Okay, yeah. Right. So now this is looking from the golf course side. And again, this is your porch, and this porch is going to extend all the way down the front now. So it's going to be an extended porch, and it's all going to be the same level. So you're going to have all kinds of chairs, and tables for people to sit, because most people like to sit outside during the summer. So we'll have an extended area of that for them to sit. But this main entrance right here now, coming from the golf course side, is where golfers will come around at the turn, go in here, they can go in here to get a drink, which will not be interrupted if we have anything going on in the dining area, because there'll be tables out here for them to sit at, or they can just walk into a counter facing them and get something to go and go on to the next team, from the turn. So they'll go from 9 to 10 on there. Cold storage will be on where the golf shop is now, and there'll be an overhang there, which we were really trying to make sure we had a place for when it rains, people get in and out of the rain, because we never had a space for people when it rained. They were always crowding in, trying to get their clubs jammed in there, so that would really be nice having that open spot. Club storage will come out this way now, right on the golf course side, and there'll be another entrance on the inside for them to walk in, okay? Overall, it's going to have one roof now line instead of all those different roof lines that were added on, which will really give what they really tried to do is keep the integrity of the original design back when it was first built, and it was just one total roof line underneath the, that covered the entire club. So that'll be the same when that's all done, which should really give it a good look as you walk in and as you're driving up to the clubhouse, and also when you're coming in from the golf course side. But we think it'll be very functional. It's going to look like a brand new building really when it's all done, even though it's not, because you're not going to see the block anymore. They will put furniture strips on the inside and cover that with material, so that it will really look clean to me, and the same way the outside. No, I'm not sure. What are they going to use on the outside?
It was like concrete board.
Concrete board, right, which is very dressy looking and very clean looking. The floors will be very maintenance free, so if there's any spillage or anything, we don't have to worry about it getting stained on carpet that you can't clean. Plus, if it's really bad, if we get a bad spill, like somebody bleeds on something, they can cut out just a section of a block without making it look bad and then put a new piece in. So they'll give us spare pieces for that.
New windows?
New windows everywhere, yeah, new frames, everything.
Tell me about the locker rooms.
The locker rooms, very minimal. I think we have.
Are they going to be in the
about-
same location they are now?
No, they'll be where the restrooms
Or
are.
the restrooms?
And remember, you're gonna go in, you'll be going in through here, and you'll go down the hallway. If you go straight to the left will be the men's and women's room, okay? And there's, I think, like 6 lockers for the men and about the same for the women. So we don't use them much anyhow.
Yeah.
So they'll be a little smaller, but still adequate to take care of them.
I asked you this question before. Those locker rooms were not, there are no showers provided for in those locker rooms. Is that
Not in
correct?
these, no.
Yeah. I'm just going to pose, Kyler, what's your opinion on showers in the locker rooms in the golf facility?
I personally would not be in favor of that.
Just why?
I think that, well, I would say that's an unnecessary amenity at a municipal course.
Nobody uses them?
No.
Thank you.
If you're at a resort public course, that's different, because people are usually vacationing, so a lot of times they want to play a game, they go to dinner afterwards, and instead of going all the way back to the hotel, they're probably gonna, shower and change there.
Mhm.
But you don't really get that in a municipal public, especially in a small facility like Troy, Ohio.
Okay.
I mean, I've been there for 14 years, I've had one guy ask me if he could get a shower.
And where did you send him?
Well, I don't know what he did, but, he changed his clothes, and I think he just didn't take a shower.
Yeah.
Because he had a business meeting afterwards.
Gotcha.
But it's not something that it's a rare request that we get. Okay. Again, if you look at this bottom picture here, you kind of see where it's probably small. But yeah, they'll go this way down, go to number 1T, and go to Buddy Green. So everything will be coming up. The traffic will be mainly from the south side of the clubhouse.
Cart storage still
Cart
underneath?
storage is still in the same place, which is going to make it a lot nicer for us, because we don't have as far to go for the staging area. And they're going to block them off right up here, which will be on the same side where we have to wash them and put them away.
And you and I talked about it, and you've got windows on the golf pro shop side, so you can watch all
Yeah,
those
windows on
things.
this side where the porch is, plus there's a door there too. If people don't want to go through the main, they can walk, let's say if it's members, and they already got their clubs with them, they can walk around this way and go down the porch if they want to get in.
Okay.
The counter for the golf shop will be on the east side, okay, which is good because that will give our staff visibility all the way down 1, all the way down 10, all the way down 18, and all the way down number 9 now. Won't have to worry about trees being in the way. And that's very important when you're trying to control the play of people coming around the turn and when they're coming off, so you know who's coming. You can prepare for it and get ready for the next one.
Okay.
So I really think when this is all done, the flow of everything is going to be so much better. And when people drive into the clubhouse, they're going to know exactly where to go. They're going to know where the clubs go. They're going to know where the carts are. So that's where everything else is going to be when they go to the golf shop. So it should really work out well. I know Mr. Weaver, who was the architect, he put a lot of time and research into this too, and he agrees that that will be, what we're doing is probably going to be the best way to go. And for flow and convenience for everybody, it really could be our beat.
Any questions of Mr. Green?
So, or go ahead.
One more thing, just again, the idea is to close down the clubhouse September 1st. We will put a temporary building up out front where the new staging area for the carts is going to be. And we're going to do that a little ahead of time so we have room for putting the temporary building. And the whole idea, when we get a temporary building, we're going to try to find one that will be able to use not just for the golf shop temporarily, but that we can take it and use it down for the range shed, where we put the machine and the balls and stuff. So it can just kill two birds with one
As a
stone.
part of this whole proposal, you're going to talk about driving range also.
Well-
Did you want to do that now too?
But I think the proposal is just for the separate, it's totally separate.
It is, okay.
Yeah, because one thing about the driving range is, we've kept all the people that are doing the, like the landscaping, that's under a separate contract, which is under 50,000, so it doesn't have to be bid out. And the irrigation system, that's under 50,000. Everything is under 50,000, so we can just do that separately.
Okay.
And I've gone over, he's got the plans already, we've got the vendors already set up to do that work. It's just a matter of verifying their final price, since this was last year when we got those prices. And he will call and verify their prices with them and make sure that we got up-to-date quotes before we make POs on them and get that started. And that is scheduled to be started basically about the same time. Ideally, we'd like to get the range started in August, the landscaping, so they can get all the seeding done by the end of September.
Yeah.
That way it would be pretty assured of getting grown in before springtime. Because it would be great if everything is ready to go by April 1st, then you can have a grand opening, have the driving range ready, have the clubhouse ready, and really have a nice event for everybody.
Did you have a question?
Yeah, I was just curious, is this all approved now and we're moving forward with it and the plans are set, or what's the status?
Well, why we're here today is we're looking for your recommendation to council. And then it will go to the first council meeting, which is on the schedule in, what, 2 weeks? And then they'll either give it a first reading and vote on it from there, or a second or third reading, but it starts right here with you guys making the recommendation to go forward with it.
Okay,
And
but,
again, 1.7, I think, we covered everything. That includes all the extra work that we're doing, with what we're going to buy. It doesn't include the telephone service, does it?
It doesn't, but if something comes in under, well,
Yeah.
yeah.
Which some of the stuff we will bid out separately because it would save us money. But 1.7 as far as the overall construction, and it includes, that did include the equipment, though, right?
Yes.
Kitchen, yeah.
Yes.
It includes the kitchen equipment, which we're going to try to save as much as we can, so we'll hopefully save some money in the long run. Because I had to get a new prep table, so we won't need to do one of those. And as soon as Mr. Weaver gets back from vacation, I'm going to tell him that we need to save our ice machines because they're in good shape too. So there's no reason to get, replacing those.
Yeah.
The only thing we really need to replace is the hood, the grill, the fryer, the both refrigerator and freezer, okay, and then the convection oven, and then we're having a regular oven put in too.
Kyler, this is going to be under your reign. Do you have any questions or do you have any comments?
I would just say that I'm continuing to learn as this project goes forward. I've done a lot with Ken already, and just look forward to continuing to familiarize myself with every aspect of it.
yeah, I'd encourage you just to, with everything else that you're jumping right into right now on day 2 of the job, this is a big project, so immerse yourself in it. Any new ideas that you have from any other courses that you've worked at, feel free to make your inputs.
Yep, thank you.
And even though I'm retiring, I still won't be around.
Good.
I'm not leaving anywhere. When this all starts, I'll still be around.
Thank you.
And I told Mr. Titterington if he needs anything, I'll help him, get a hold of the guys that we've already contacted, the vendors, to do the work, especially for the driving range, which usually Jill and Stan will be probably handling most of this, once we get it bid out, and it's just a matter of getting whoever gets the construction job, they'll take care of their end, and we'll do some of the loose ends that we can do separate bids on.
Have the members of the advisory board also approved this layout?
Well, the ones that have seen it, yes, have approved it.
Okay.
Not everybody's seen it, because not all can get out there. Gary Weaver knows about it, Kathy Zink knows about it, and so does Mr. Page. The other two haven't seen it since it's been finalized, but they do want me to work it on.
Okay, good.
Rick Zabo and Lance King.
Jill, did you have something you
Well, I
want?
was just gonna say, also, the next week or so, we were planning on, Stan and I were gonna have a meeting with Kyler, just to kind of, you know, allow him some time for it to soak in, and then also review the plans, and probably include, you know, if Ken's available, if, you know, for him to come as well, just to kind of review. I don't know how often he's actually done public bids or anything like that, you know, what's gonna be, what's his involvement, you know, what Stan and I are gonna do, and things like that.
Good,
So,
thank you very much.
Yeah.
Okay, any other questions?
Yeah, so if we're looking for a recommendation to council, is this going to include putting a levy on the ballot? Or this is just to ask council for funds?
Money and then we ask to the city auditor, I guess, to get the funds, right? Unless you got more to say about that. Am I a little bit too plain about that?
We are not going to the ballot on this. The 2018 budget was approved with funding available for this project.
Okay.
Thank you,
Great.
Mr. Chairman. Okay, we don't have the money for this, but city council may. So we make a recommendation to city council to go ahead and authorize the renovation of the clubhouse at an amount not to exceed $1.71 million. Is there a motion to that effect?
Motion to
Susan made a motion, is there a second?
Second.
Any further discussion? Any further questions? Sue, would you call the roll, please? Mrs. Knight, please call the roll.
Yes, okay. Mrs. Westfall?
Yes.
Mr. Fox?
Yes.
Mr. Capper?
Yes.
It's approved.
Would you pass on the recommendation of city council,
We
please?
certainly will do that very
Thank you.
quickly also.
Mr. Terrington, did you have anything else to come before the commission? I think I saw the mayor back there someplace. Did you have anything else other than that other item that we're talking about? Do you want to talk about?
I just want to mention at your place, I placed our Mayor's Youth Council. Every year I meet with the teens and I meet with the 5th and 6th graders and I ask them what's good about Troy and what could still be improved. Many of those items you'll see could have a direct effect on the park board and the park department and others. So I thought you'd like to see what 5th and 6th graders are thinking. You may notice that one top, and there was 15 members that I met with, and you'll notice that the top is Hobart Arena. They really appreciate the treasure that we have in Troy. And then on the flip side, the areas can be improved. They mentioned right up there towards the top, you'll see the skateboard park. It just needs, they think, some renovation on some additions. So it gives us food for thought, and I appreciate what 5th and 6th graders do. They're a very conscientious group of people, young people, 5th and 6th graders, and we do the same for the teens when they're heading into their senior year of high school.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
Mr. Kegley, did you have anything you want to address the commission on?
Thank you, sir.
Mr. Terwilliger, I see you out there. Do you have anything to say, sir?
No, sir.
Anything else to come before the commission? I'm going to ask for an adjournment on a condition right after we do something else. But I want to make sure, Sue, before we... Ken Green, how you doing?
I'm doing fine, thank
I
you.
want to thank you for your 14 years of service. You have been an outstanding steward of our asset out there, and it's really a crown jewel in the city's crown, in my opinion. We've got a lot of things going on in this community, including Hobart Arena and Troy Memorial Stadium, but you've got it through the golf course and the community park and Duke Park, all in that thing, and you have been a great steward for the last 14 years of our asset.
Well, thank you for the kind words, and you know how I feel about you guys and everybody out there, because the city has been so great to work for. I mean, it really has. It's, like I told Kyler, you're not going to work for a better group of people in the city of Troy, and I really feel that way, and it's sad that I am leaving because...
I understand what you're talking about. We got one guy that wants to say something else too. Mayor, I'm going to call upon you. Would you come on up, please?
Thank you.
Ken, why don't you come on down right here, if you would, please?
You want to join us?
Yep.
Ken, I think we just saw, when you use the words "we," that this is a project that you dearly love and are looking forward, and I know you'll stick with it. And you've shown so much dedication to the golf course, commitment, you can see that, and your expertise. I've gotten to know you over those 14 years as a person that really does care. And so on behalf of the Park Board and now, and all of us, we'd like to present you with this plaque and it goes like this. Here it goes. Presented to Ken D. Green in grateful appreciation of your years of dedicated service to the city of Troy, Ohio, and the citizens of this community. City of Troy as Director of Golf, Miami Shores Golf Course, February 27th of 2004 to February 28th of 2018. And as I said, you're still staying with us. But I'd like to present this, and I know Al and I would like to shake your hand and wish you the very best.
Thank you very much.
Thank you so much. You've been good friends.
Thank you for everything, I appreciate it.
There you go.
Beautiful.
Thank you.
Thank you very much. This is a very special place.
I know you didn't want a reception, so we don't have anything for that.
That's quite.
However, city council met last night, there were a bunch of cupcakes left over.
Oh, I see that.
Yeah, right.
After we adjourn this meeting, we'll sit around and just say hi and thank you to everybody. I know everybody else was here. Let's say thank you.
Thank you.
Go back.
Thank you for everything. Thank you. Thank you.
Thanks, enjoy it.
Thank you, Ken. I know, don't get me going.
Do you want to say something?
Yeah. If we're on.
No, yeah, I think so. Do we have anything else? Okay, Levi would like to go ahead and address the commission.
I want to make an announcement that I'm actually moving outside the city limits of Troy this month in March. So after this meeting, I'm going to hand Mayor Beamish a letter of resignation from the board. I want to thank everybody. It's been great. 2 years that I've been on the board. I enjoyed it, and I'm happy to give back to the community. I'll be right outside the city limits. I'll still be in Troy City Schools, so continuing my life as a Trojan. Want to say congratulations to Ken. Great job working with you. Good luck, Kyler. One thing I'd say is please make sure you're working with Jeremy. There's a lot of, he can provide a lot of good help, and utilize Ken as much as you can. And fellow board members, thank you for the time that we spent together, and Jeremy, great job as well.
Well, Levi, thank you for your service. Appreciate it. And it's too bad you're leaving. But we'll anticipate that you're going to continue to be around and help out the community in one way or another.
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay, if there's nothing else to come before the commission, we'll entertain a motion to adjourn.
Motion adjourned.
Is there a second?
Second.
All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Okay, we stand adjourned.